This version of Techsplained was brought to you by FIVERR, your biggest online freelance service marketplace.
To find out more about FIVERR, click on the link, go to FIVERR in the descriptions below this video, and experience a new world of online services brought to you by thousands of people from all over the world.
In this installment of Tech Explained, you can expect the following questions to be answered. How do aircons work? Should I get an aircon or an electric heater? Can an aircon make you sick? Can an aircon spread COVID-19? And lastly, are aircons bad for the environment? How do aircons work? You probably enjoy spending time in your house. Perhaps due to the pandemic, you're working from home. Therefore, your home or working space needs to be at the right temperature. Unfortunately, achieving this is never easy. Thanks to the aircon, things are a bit easier now. However, how do aircons work? Keep listening to find out more. How do aircons work? An air conditioner is a unit consisting of three important parts. Those parts are an evaporator, a condenser, and a compressor. The air conditioning process helps to turn the air to the right temperature. First, the air conditioning unit pulls the outdoor air into your room through air vents. A gaseous refrigerant in the copper coils of an evaporator unit absorbs the warm air and changes it into a gas. A refrigerant is a substance either found in a fluid or gaseous state. Hundreds of refrigerants exist, and the most common ones are ammonia, sulfur dioxide, and propane. The liquid refrigerant is the one keeping the evaporator coil cold. From there, the compressor transports the gas outside to the condenser coil, where the gas changes into a liquid. The condenser coils release the heat from the warm air, and then the refrigerant returns back to the evaporator unit, where the air conditioning process continues. The compressor is the go-between, and its main function is to move the refrigerant between the evaporator and condenser coils. A car aircon, for example, has a compressor that allows the refrigerant to flow to the condenser. This is because it compresses it into a liquid. After this, the heat is directed to an expansion valve, from where the refrigerant is returned into a gaseous state. It is then moved to a receiver. In the receiver, moisture is removed from the refrigerant. From here, it is taken to an evaporator, which transfers heat into the refrigerant. The result is the flow of cold air past the evaporator. Aircon versus electric heater. One of the questions you might be asking yourself is whether to go for an aircon or an electric heater. If efficiency is one of your priorities, then you can opt for an aircon instead of an electric heater. With an aircon, there will be an even distribution of air throughout the specific room. This is unlike an electric heater, which has only the areas around the heater hot, while the rest of the room remains cold. Furthermore, having an aircon is quite advantageous even during the summer. You will still use it for cooling, whereas if you had an electric heater, you might simply store it away since it wouldn't be used at that time. Therefore, an aircon serves you both in winter and summer. However, since there are so many advantages of having an aircon over an electric heater, you might think that using that particular heating mode is more expensive. Well, the good news is that an aircon is cheaper and it doesn't waste electricity when heating the room. It has a thermostat that shuts when the right temperature is reached. Can aircons make you sick?
Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video to help the growth of the channel. Thank you.
As much as you want to have the right temperatures in your room, you should think about your health too. Having your house air conditioned has so many benefits. However, does it have some effects on you? Can you get sick from an aircon? If you have ever stayed indoors for quite a long time, you might have felt aircon sick at some point. This is a common feeling that might leave you wondering whether air conditioning has more harm than good. Well, aircons do not necessarily cause sicknesses, but the interaction with environmental factors can make you sick. Some of these could include fungi, mold, and mildew, which could be present in your house. Therefore, when you feel aircon sick with a stuffy nose, sore throat, or even difficulty in breathing, you can know where the blame might lie. Moreover, if you don't maintain your aircon properly, it can become a breeding space for some of these allergens. Plus, the moisture in these units can leave you at risk of being irritated or in contact with toxins. Furthermore, if you run your aircon too cold, you might experience some illness. You can shiver, have headaches, or even have sore joints. What should you do? To protect yourself from being aircon sick, you can ensure your house or room is free from mold, mildew, and bacteria among others. Also ensure the aircon is well maintained. This might involve thorough cleaning once in a while. Therefore, if you monitor the system properly, it might not have adverse effects on your health. Can aircon spread COVID? The pandemic is here. The cases are spiking, the temperatures are rising, and the moment you want your room or office space air conditioned, you think of aircons and COVID-19. It is no doubt you're doing so much to protect yourself, your family, and your loved ones from this virus. Your aircon shouldn't be the reason you let your guard down, right? If you're worried about whether an aircon can spread COVID or not, you're not alone. Getting a direct answer to this can be tricky. However, looking at the mode of transmission of the coronavirus can help. One of the common methods in which it is transmitted is through droplets, either from the mouth or nose when an infected individual sneezes, breathes, or coughs. You can get coronavirus when you come in contact with these droplets. Another mode is aerosol transmission, mostly indoor and closed rooms. As much as the risk of infection is high in these settings, it is not yet clear whether aircons can spread coronavirus or not. Plus, experts say that if you have proper air conditioning units, there is an unlikelihood of the transmission of the virus. According to some experts, the risk lies in the amount of time you spend in closed rooms and how close you are seated or standing next to others. Up until now, the evidence of linking aircons to the spread of COVID-19 is little. Are aircons bad for the environment? If you're passionate about the environment, you probably don't want to be part of anything that affects Mother Nature. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, you strive so much to ensure that your practices are healthy to you and your environment too. This might make you think of the aircon in your room or office. Is it bad for the environment? To begin with, if your aircon leaks or is not properly maintained, it can release HFCs and CFCs into the environment, which depletes the ozone layer more. This means that if you want to take care of the globe, you have to take good care of and maintain your unit. Plus, if you dispose of this unit carelessly, some molecules might escape into the atmosphere. Therefore, you should be keen to follow the right guidelines for its disposal. Furthermore, the use of these systems account for a great percentage of energy use. This is because they require huge amounts of energy to function well. Since the consumption is that high, it leads to pollution. Carbon dioxide is also released into the environment thanks to aircons. Nonetheless, the dust and bacteria collected in these systems over time might be toxic. If the temperatures are high or cool, you might need to regulate them. An aircon comes in handy at such a time. Plus, as you have learned in this episode, there are benefits of using it over an electric heater. Concerning your health and whether or not it can lead to the spread of COVID-19, you have learned something. What's more, you should take care of your aircon.
Let's take a moment and explain the technology that made this video possible: content creation through FIVERR. To bring you all this insightful knowledge, you need a virtual assistant to research the content. After this, you will convert it into clear and easy to understand copy, best written by a highly rated copywriter. Then you will need a voiceover to read the copy clearly and enthusiastically. When all that is done, you will need a video editor to put it all together. All these people are professional freelancers you can find online through FIVERR, the online services marketplace. To find out more about FIVERR, click on the link, go to FIVERR in the descriptions below this video, and experience a new world of online services brought to you by thousands of people from all over the world.